Hello. What's up? Today we're listening to nothing. We're ranking. Another 40 albums have been listened to. Alright, we made it again. Congratulations to everyone that has stuck through it. If you're new to the channel, hi. I listen to music, I rank them after. I don't know. I have my own music, it's okay. Nothing crazy. What is up with this wind? What is up with this wind? It was 80 degrees the other day, and now it's 60 something with wind chill. If you're new to the channel, we review these albums randomly, just based off recommendation, whether they came out years ago, whether they're well-renowned classics, or whether it comes out tomorrow. Now, it's hard to keep track, and I'm starting to notice it. I tried doing something like this before, but I created a bunch of playlists on my channel chronologically from when the album was released. Alright, we got a playlist from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. So, if you don't want to use a search bar, because the search bar is never reliable. Sometimes I'd be looking for videos of mine that I know exist, but just don't fucking come up. So if you want to use that as a little library, or just a little binge session, alright, you can use these playlists. I want to help you guys out, because I know it gets messy. These rankings are all subjective. I just listen to these albums, so it's impossible for me to know the context behind everything. Alright, if I had it my way, I'd be doing this ranking after listening to each album 20 times. Because in my opinion, you can't truly know an album after first listen, second listen, third listen. You need to age with it. You need to let it grow on you. And I understand that. So please take this ranking with a grain of salt. If I had to re-rank my past rankings, it'd be completely different. No more yapping. No more yapping. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe if you want to. If you want to catch the full versions of my reviews without copyright, it's over on my Patreon. At number 40, we have Vultures 2. It's just not a finished record at all. Just not a very well put together record at all. I think it was very rushed. Literally AI versus. I mean, that's basically impressive that Kanye has the balls, the nerve to drop some of this music, and people still think it's good. It just shows that people have never even listened, or probably even have the mental capacity to sit through all 12 minutes of Last Call if you defend this fucking record. This album isn't a zero. I mean, I still think Field Trip is decent, and River is probably his best song since Donda. Do I want to hear Kanye get better in the future? Absolutely. But I'm not going to take this nitrous situation as an excuse to make this fucking garbage. At number 39, I have James Blake and Lil Yachty's collab with Bad Cameo. I didn't really dislike this record. I just found it super forgettable in the long run. No one even talks about it anymore, and it came out recently. I mean, I do think that there's a lot of strong ideas here, but I think James Blake is kind of bringing out the best of each performance off of this record. But yeah, and I appreciate a lot of the production elements on it. It's some of my personal favorite kind of things to hear on a song. We got a lot of ambient kind of qualities to it, and I loved Let's Start Here, but this is just not. Alright, so those are the two albums I just genuinely don't like. From 38 on, I think are great records. Coming in at 38, I got Bright Eyes with I'm Wide Awake, It's Morning. I like this album. I think it's really good. I just don't find myself going back to it. And don't get me wrong, I think Lua is an amazing song. I love the way the opener kind of kicks off, the momentum into the record. I just don't find myself resonating with a lot of this album much. It's kind of an example of an album that I do like and I want to put higher. It's just that my enjoyment of it kind of stops me. I do need to give it a few re-listens, granted. I just think that this is where I'm at with it right now, and that's okay. At 37, I have Porter Robinson with Nurture. Very fun, electronic, upbeat, kind of EDM-ish record. I don't know. I get major no copyright sounds vibes listening to this album. The thing that's mainly holding me back a lot from this record is just the vocal performances, but I do enjoy this album a lot still. My favorite song is probably Mother. Alright, at 36, I got Weezer's Pinkerton. Maybe I'm just too serious, but the lyricism does kind of just get to me throughout listening to this record. The songs sound great. I love the production. Everything just sounds amazing. And then he just starts, talking. But yeah, I do need to listen to the Blue album. That's still going to happen. And I'm all about, having room for this album to grow on me. And I think it will. But not right now. But it's not my cup of tea right now. Right now, though, give me a few years. Give me 5 years. Give me 20 years. Give me 60 years. Coming in at 35, I got Wire's Pink Flag. This is a great record, legendary album, I'm sure. In fact, it's just the whole art punk thing it's always been hard for me to get into, but I'm not quite there yet. But the punk rock instrumentals are incredible though off this. It's just the songs are very short, like excruciatingly short. Most of my favorite songs off this record that I want to continue on stop before the 1 minute mark. So coming in at 34, I got Dinosaur Jr.'s You're Living All Over Me. Noise rock has always been, a little jarring on the ears for me, but I'm starting to become more fond of this record as, the days go on. I do believe that the intro is probably the strongest point on that album for me. I love the way it just kicks off. The Lung is also one that I've been listening to a lot as well. But I'm just still adapting to the harshness that this album can bring to my ears sometimes. Coming in at 33, I got Death Cab for Cuties, Transatlanticism. I love how accessible and relatable a lot of the sounds off of this record are. We're mixing up a lot of emo-style vocals with indie rock sounds. I think it's great. A lot of long-winded meditative moments off of this record as well on the title track, which is probably my highlight off of here. It's not the most mind-blowing record I've listened to, which probably makes it like this low on the list, but I still appreciate it, and it is growing on me. Coming in at 32, I got Lord's Melodrama. This is a crazy record. I can't believe that she was 19 when this came out. Liability is gut-wrenching, to say the least. There's a lot of songs off of here that really hit me harder than I thought. Sometimes, if I'm being honest, sometimes I don't like her voice. However, I like the production and songwriting. Coming in at 31, I got Sufjan Stevens with Age of Ads. Incredibly memorable and surprising record from Sufjan. I don't think it's his best. I think Javelin and Carrying the Well are better, but I do think it's a great record. I think Futile Devices is one of my favorite songs by him. The climax on I Want to Be Well is probably my favorite moment on a song that he's ever had. I just think that there's some electronic aspects of this that just kind of try too hard, and I know that the electronic production is kind of what makes this album stand out from his others, but there's some parts in it that just seem a little bit overbearing to me. Coming in at 30, I got Animal Collective with Feels. Very deep, very rich production, very psychedelic. I love the way that his songwriting kind of progresses as this album goes on, coming from a beautiful love to awful heartbreak, but eventually kind of realizing that he's gonna be okay. This album would be a lot higher, but I think my main critique with Animal Collective is that a lot of their sounds kind of just are a little too ASMR for me. I feel like my ears are getting violated at some points of this record. I'm at 29, I got David Bowie's Scary Monsters. Fucking David Bowie. I still need to do Hunky Dory. I'm sorry that I haven't. And there is another album of his way higher on the list. This album starts off incredibly strong with the intro, and I think it comes full circle really easily in the end. Ashes to Ashes I think is really good as well. I just think that some of the deeper cuts off of this are David's more forgettable songs. But still, it's a fantastic record, right? I got Caro Caro Bonito at 28 with Time and Place. Maybe the most versatile record here, but yeah, Time Today is a banger. Absolutely crazy song. It's one of those records that, upon making this list, I was like, man, I really didn't go back to this album as much as I thought I would, though. The record ends so strong with Swimming and Rest Stop. At 27, I got Godspeed You, Black Emperor's Yankee UXO. It's a post-rock record. It's a long-winded post-rock record, the ones that they usually do. And did very long songs, but I just feel as if nothing compares to Skinny Fist. Nothing hits harder than Skinny Fist. Motherfucker Redeemer, though, is amazing, though. That song is incredible. At 36, I got Third Eye Blind's Self-Titled. I enjoy this record a lot more than I thought I was going to. I think Losing a Whole Year, which is my favorite song off of here, was just an absolutely mind-blowing intro. I love that song. And of course we have the hits, Jumper, Semi-Charmed Life, but this album has more to it. I think this album in its deep end really finishes off super strongly. Song structures are incredibly satisfying as well. Don't get me wrong, I feel like this album is definitely a place in time, but very stuck in the 90s, but I can put myself in that picture. I can put myself in that era. At 25, I got Mitski's Bury Me at Makeout Creek. After only hearing My Love, Mine All Mine, I thought that this album was going to sound a lot different than it did. The rock elements in this album are so surprising and satisfying to me. The thing that I want to critique the most about it is that I wish it was longer. First Love, Late Spring, I know it's incredibly popular, but it is for a reason. That song is incredible. It's one of my favorite songs that I have listened to in this ranking so far. At 24, I have Mount Erie by Microphones, Phil Evram. I think structurally that this is my favorite album by him yet. I actually really enjoy the long-winded intro with The Sun. The drums felt very alive to me. I love how it just becomes a part of the rhythm of the song. But I did not like that one moment in the title track where those random dudes' vocals started popping up. Alright, not for me. But Solar System has to be one of my favorite songs by him. I think it's one of his most replayable and accessible ones as well. Coming in at 23, I got Injury Reserves By the Time I Get to Phoenix. I learned halfway through this record while listening to it that one of the members had passed away, kind of foreshadowing, the suffering that he's going through in his life. But so much of this album is insane production-wise. Top Picks for You, Postpartum by Storm. Some of the most mind-blowing experimental hip-hop songs I've heard. Coming in at 22, I got Ride with Nowhere. My least favorite out of the big big three shoegaze albums. I don't know. And it is on the upper half of this list just because it's shoegaze. You know, I'm kind of very, very, very biased towards that genre. But like for an album that kind of pulls back on the shoegaze parts to kind of make more room for the vocals, I do think that some of those performances could have been a little better. I do think though that the 3-track run of In a Different Place, Polar Bear, and Dreams Burned Down are incredible though. And the album definitely finishes at its highest point with Vapor Trail. God, this wind needs to watch the hair. This wind needs to... At 21, I got Chaperone. Incredible vocal performances. If this record was 10 songs long, right? Hypothetically. Alright, bear with me. If this record was 10 songs long, and those 10 songs were as good as the first 5, Phenomenon, alright, Red Wine Supernova, Casual, Coffee, man, those first 5 are fucking crazy. Alright, I love all of those. But yeah, I didn't listen to this album until Good Luck Babe was already in full stride. There are some songs on this record that I think maybe could have been cut, just not some of the strongest parts off of here, but I think it's a great record, and I think it's a great foundation for her career. At 20, I got Charlie XCX's How I'm Feeling Now. Pink Diamond is my favorite song by her, easily. Forever is incredible. Party Girl is wild. Her lyrics off of this are amazing, very unhinged. And I think it's a good album to kind of represent the pandemic, that era, and it can sort of take us back into really living in that moment, which may not have been a great period in time, but I think squeezing a little bit of light out of it is nice. Charles Mingus at 19. What the fuck is jazz? What the fuck is jazz? I did not think that this album was going to place high at all, actually. I thought it was going to be in the 30s, but I listened to this record before I made this list, or I think I was actually during the making of this list, and I was like, oh shit, these cats really are cooking. I think that the guitar on that third song, that third long climax song, is incredible. But yeah, at the end of the day though, it's still jazz. It's still not my genre. I'm not at that age yet, you know, where I'm just so mature enough to finally understand jazz and get jazz and listen to it. But maybe there'll be a point in time where, you know, my eyesight is kind of fading, I'm getting some wrinkles, or I can finally start to be real pretentious about music and really get into this record. At 18, I got New Order, Power, Corruption, Fuck. The only context I knew about this album going into it is that it was kind of the leftovers of Joy Division. I was expecting post-punk, and I did not get post-punk. But a lot of the synth work off this record was just, I believe, so ahead of its time. Very incredible stuff to me. Favorite songs off this record are Age of Consent, Your Silent Face, Ultraviolence. At 17, I got Devin Hendrix with the Ghost Pop tape. I was not expecting to go into this album thinking JPEG Mafia started off his career making ambient pop, porn addict, could be gay, could be. I think this album starts off a lot more stronger than it finishes, but I love the progression of his character throughout this record, and I love how raw oh my, you hear that? Probably the most raw production I've ever heard on an album. You can literally hear the spacebar of him tapping when he's done doing a fucking punch-in. It's crazy. Chocolate and Cheese. Some of my least favorite Ween songs, but also some of my favorite as well. What Dean are talking about, Baby Bitch, might be my top. But yeah, this album also does kind of feature my least favorite Ween songs as well. Spinal Meningitis. No. Brenna's TARDIS Amigas is just kind of confusing to me. But I mean, I do believe that this is very ambitious. Freedom of 76 is also an amazing one that I forgot to mention. And I think Gene also kind of comes into his own vocally on this record. At number 15, I got Black Sabbath's Master of Reality. This might be my favorite album by them. You know, this might be my favorite album by them. I think when it comes to heavy metal, this might be my go-to. The first few songs are incredible, and then all of a sudden, you got this acoustic guitar 1 minute fucking interlude out of nowhere. And honestly, this might be a hot take, this might be a crazy take, but Solitude is my favorite Black Sabbath song. You know, I'm gonna say it. Coming in at 14, I got The Smiths' Meat is Murder. Incredibly controversial record, but I mean, what do you expect? I was not expecting to like this one as much as I like their other records, but I think I do. I might even like this more than The Queen is Dead, but not as much as the self-titled. The Joke Isn't Funny Anymore is not a deep cut that I was expecting to become my favorite Smith song. I can't believe that the production in that song, what that brings, it's everything that I've ever wanted to hear them do. At number 13, I got Mort Garson. Yep, Mort Garson, Mother Earth's Plantasia. Incredibly fun, quirky, innovative synth record. I don't know. I was kind of looking into his image a little bit. It's a little bit satanic. It's still good. It's still good. I love what he does with the Moog. But yeah, I showed it to my plant. He even gave it a thumb up. Favorite tracks off of here, probably the first song, Plantasia, and Swinging Splat. I'm not saying that word. Rubber Soul, number 12, The Beatles. I saw a YouTube video about a month ago, or a little after I listened to this review, of just Ringo and Paul, of just the drums and the bass line. And it really kind of opened my eyes of how fucking good these guys were. How fucking good they were. You know, sure, it's that 60s music that's, you know, low-key kind of dated. Dated not in a bad way, just dated in a way where it's, you know, it's very for that time period. However, I still believe that, you know, this record features some of their best songs. Norwegian Wood, Michelle, and My Life. 3 incredible, some of the best songs ever. Coming at 11, I got Boris with Flood. This is a crazy record. This is a crazy post-rock record. I can't believe how well done the progression of this record is. I remember I listened to it outside, and I'm not a very patient individual. And sometimes I would listen to like 6-minute songs, 7-minute songs, and I'm like, man, I just want this shit to fucking end. But this album really did something to me that kind of opened my eyes, and I really started just to really meditate during that review. It's probably my most boring video because I'm just kind of taking it in the whole time. But I love the way it climaxes, and I love how low we get during the album as well. The third act of it is probably my favorite. Top 10. At number 10, I got Sgt. Pepper's. I thought that I was going to like this record more than I did. I do think that this record is very good, but I think it kind of gets carried by the best songs off of here. Favorite songs being the title track, A Little Help from My Friends, She's Leaving Home, and of course, A Day in the Life, which might be their best song. It might be their best song. But yeah, I mean, fucking, good morning. Fuck no. At number 9, I got Crystal Castles. Yes, I just put Crystal Castles over the Beatles. It's definitely fuck Ethan. You know, it's for sure fuck Ethan, but this is still a good album. After hearing about all the abuse stuff, I really don't know if I want to cover another record. I already feel bad kind of popularizing and making this album more well known. But I just love the production off of here. I love the microKORG. I own one myself, and I love how it's kind of featured in a lot of the songs off of here. A lot of just iconic and innovative songs off of here, like Crime Wave, Untrust Us, Vanished is mind-blowing to me. But yeah, Nights was a song that I kind of listened to, and I'm like, man, I've produced with those fucking sounds before. Magic Spells is probably my favorite song off of here. And this might be the last time I talk about Crystal Castles. At number 8, I got JPEG Mafia's latest release, I Lay Down My Life For You. Obviously, his kind of most shocking, to say the least, production yet with the guitar. Either On or Off the Drugs with the AI future fucking song. The second that song started, I knew that was the one. And it's fucking, I think it's the most popular one off this record so far. Don't Rely on Other Men probably has my favorite production on any songs of his. And I think, you know, Sin Miendo and the first song with a long ass title. I love their use of guitar. Coming in at 7, probably my album of the year contender so far is Magdalena Bay with Imaginal Disc. You know, I knew the record was going to be good. I heard great things about it, but I was not expecting this. Killing Time, Love Is Everywhere, Death and Romance, Image, Cry For Me might be my song of the year right now. But yeah, I'm so happy that this album is getting all the hype that it certainly deserves. I got nothing but good words for this record. I just think her voice is something I'm still trying to get used to. Coming in at number 6, I got Prince. Purple Rain, probably be my favorite song that I reviewed on this channel. I love his vocal performance on The Beautiful Ones. One of the craziest intros. This album is perfect. I got nothing bad to say about it. In fact, I think from 6 to number 1, these albums could all be interchanged, probably. Maybe I would have liked a bass line on When Doves Cry. Maybe I would have liked a bass line on When Doves Cry. That's just me though. Number 5, I got Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. If there's any album that kind of, you know, it's like the definition of a 10. Like every song is a 10. Every song is just as good. Because I feel like those don't exist. I feel like no matter what, there will always be songs on some albums that are better than other songs. But this album kind of breaks that down for me. I don't know why. Every song off this record transitions so smoothly. It talks about a topic that's so important it's just an incredibly pivotal album for me. I think I don't know, it's amazing. His vocals are unmatched. There is no favorite song off this record. It's just the record. Number 4, like a Black Star, David Bowie. We all know the story. David Bowie basically looked death in its eyes and said, "Fuck you." I still have not recovered from listening to this. I don't know how one even conceives of the title track. I don't know how you think about even making that and putting those instruments together and doing what he did. The saxophones on Lazarus are so defeated, and the music video for it is insane. "'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore" is actually my favorite Bowie song. So, fun fact about me. And the harmonica on "I Can't Give Everything Away," referencing that one song off of Low, is so genius to me. This record is perfect. Number 3, Revolver. This is probably my craziest first album listening experience ever. Going from song to song, going, oh wait, this one is John singing, this one is Paul, this one's Ringo, why is Taxman, Eleanor Rigby. Rigby? No, that's not what it is. "Tomorrow Never Knows" being one of the most mind-blowing songs. I think that probably came out of that era. "Love You Too" kind of introducing us to George's kind of sitar fetish. I think it's a banger, and it's my favorite off the record. At number 2, Fishman's Uchu Nippon Setayaga, another record that's perfect to me. I read the label. I saw ambient pop. If you know me, you know I love ambient pop. The last ranking an ambient pop album got number 1, but this album has layers to it. You know, there's much more genre influence infused within it. The bass line, the guitar, his fucking vocals, man, his vocals. "Weather Report" is fucking phenomenal. Followed up by their best song, in my opinion, "Daydream." Most gut-wrenching guitar I think I've ever heard on a song. This album blows me away every time I re-listen to it. Coming in at number 1. Cocteau Twins, "Heaven or Las Vegas." An album that I kinda sorta knew going into this ranking. I knew Cherry Colored Funk in the title track, but I fully wasn't able to ever really express and re-listen to this record until I got to. It is a dream pop masterclass. I think her vocals are incredible. Her lyrics, her fucking lyrics, you can't understand them, but let me tell you, in her language, in her mind, they're probably genius. But yeah, start to finish, this record is mind-blowing. It's brain-melting. I think you should re-listen to it today if you have the time. It's my number 1 for today, but tomorrow it could be that Fishman's record, it could be Prince, it could be the Beatles. There's just so many classics that I'm grateful that I got to listen to during this ranking. So, I mean, there truly is no definitive number 1 in my opinion, but today this is. So yeah. That's it. That's all I gotta say. If you're new to the channel, feel free to like and subscribe. Of course, for season 7, I guess, of Smags, drop your recommendations down below in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching. I love you.